Hi everyone. Here we will discuss about assignment problem using list cost branch and bound. The assignment problem is having n number of employees and n number of tasks. So here each task has to be assigned to one employee. So when you are assigning the task to each and every employee, so we have to consider the cost of doing each and every task. So when you are assigning the task to each and every employee, you will get the cost. So try to minimize the cost to give to the employee by the owner of that every company. So here when you are assigning the cost, we may use a branch and bound technique using the list cost based method. So the list cost based method is using here lower bound and cost uh, to check the each and every node to explore further to reach the goal state by minimizing the cost. Here the problem statement is given with four number of tasks and four number of employees. Here the employees are given in the each and every row, and jobs are given in columns. Here the least cost branch and bound method is using a state space tree to reach the goal state by minimizing the cost. Two approaches available in calculating the cost function. One is we can assign the task for each and every employee with the minimum cost from list of unassigned tasks by using row by row. Otherwise, for each task you can assign the employee. So in the first option we can assign the uh, task to the employee. In the second approach, for each task, okay, for each task we can assign the employee. This is column wise selection. So first one is the row wise selection and the second one is column wise selection. For each task we will assign the employee with the lowest cost of that task. So here we can choose any one of the approach to solve the problem for calculating the cost using least cost based branch and bound method. In this approach, I am using the row wise selection by assigning the job to each and every employee. So here we will construct the state space tree for reaching the goal state by minimizing the cost. So here we have to calculate the lower bound. Initially we are unknown about the lower bound. So the lower bound can be calculated by selecting the minimum cost of all the rows. So lower bound, as per the given procedure, minimum value in the first row is the 4 and the second row is the 1 and the third employee here the 2 is the minimum cost, and for the fourth employee 3 is the minimum cost. So total value for the lower bound is now 10. So it is the lower bound for all the nodes we are going to calculate for further in this state space tree. We will start with unknown value now assigned as 10. So this is the lower bound for the root node. So here the root node is given with lower bound value 10. This is the structure of given n number of jobs assigning to n number of employees one by one. So here first we are going to choose the job one is assigning to the E1. So here we are having four possibilities for each and every jobs, right? We can assign the four jobs to the first employee. Okay, if the first employee is having four options, he may select job 1, or he may select job 2, or he may select job 3, or he may select job 4. How do we identify which job is suitable to the employee number 1? So for that we are going to calculate the each and every node cost, right? So now the job one is assigning to the E1. When you are choosing that, here the first job is going to assign to the E1. So I highlighted with the blue color. Then once it is selected, you the first employee is engaged with the job 1, so he is not available to other jobs, J2, J3, J4. So we have to make this line yes, engaged. That means E1 is engaged, so we have to keep that row as a not available to other jobs. So like that, job 1 is assigned to employee 1. So what we have to do, we have to make this job is unavailable. So I highlighted with the red color font. Then now we have to calculate lower bound for this node number 2. So for this, the least cost for the job 1, for the lower bound, as I told you, you have to use the minimum cost of all the rows. Okay, so now as per that, here in the first row the minimum value is 8. Okay, that's what we have select, not minimum value, the selected value. Job 1 is assigned to E1. Okay, then in the second row minimum value is 3. Okay, then third row is here minimum value is 2. That's what given here. In the fourth row is minimum value is 3. So that's what given here. So addition of all the values is 16. Now the employee may be assigned with job number 2. What is the cost of assigning job number 2 to the employee 1? So I am assigning the job number 2 to the employee 1. When you are assigning the job number 2 to the employee 1, then the cost for that particular job to do by employee is 5 units, right? Here once it is assigned the to employee 1, then employee 1 is engaged with the job 2, so he is not available now. So we cannot assign other jobs to the employee 1, so we have to make it unavailable. Like that, job 2 is assigned to employee 1, the job 2 is also now not available, right? I highlighted with red color fonts. So now after assigning job 2 to the employee 1, we have to know what is the cost. That means lower bound. So lower bound is calculated here. For employee 1, we have assigned 5 units of cost to the employee 1. Then from the second row, so now here you cannot select the values from the second job column, right? So we have to look at other columns. From other available columns, the list value for the second row employee 2 is 1, and the third row employee 3 is 5, which is given here, and fourth row employee 4 is 6, so which is given here. So now which is 17. Then the job 3 may assigned to the employee number 1, right? So now when you are assigning the job number 3 to employee 1, here the job number 3 is assigning to employee 1. Then once it is assigned, employee 1 is engaged, he is not available. Like that, job 3 is assigned to employee 1, so it is not available to others. Now we have to calculate the cost. So lower bound is the cost assigning to the employee 1 is 4. Then remaining rows, the least cost value for the employee 2 is 1. The least cost value in the third row is the 2, and the least cost value for employee 4 is here 3. So now the lower bound for this node number 4 is 10. Then another option is the job 4 can be assigned to employee 1. So job 4 is assigned to employee 1. So here once you are assigning the job 4 to employee 1, the employee 1 is engaged now. Like that, job 4 is not available. After that, we have to calculate the lower bound. The cost of job 4 to employee 1 is 6 units, and the least value for the second employee is 1. The least value in the third row is 2. The least value in the fourth row is 3. Now we are calculating the lower bound value, which is 12 units. So among this 4 possibility, which is giving you lowest caste. The lowest caste among the 16, 10, 17 and 12, the 10 is the lowest bound. So here the lowest bound already, which is 10, so we have to kill this other paths except 10. So the 10 is the least caste, least lower bound, so we have to take that as a job 3 is assigned to the employee 1. So once it is assigned to the employee 1, this is the node is suitable in this level of the state space tree. We are going to explore that now for further employees. Okay, so now we are going to explore the job number 3 uh, for further, right, to assign to another employees. So now the job number 3 is assigned to employee 1, right. This is the first level we have calculated in the earlier slide. So this 10 is going to be explored. So job 3 is now assigned. Remaining jobs are J1, J2, J4. Only three possibilities are there for the employee number 2, right. So for the employee number 2, we are starting with assigning job number 1. Here this node is 6. Now we are going to calculate here. The already job number 3 is assigned to employee 1. So employee 1 is already engaged, so we cannot access him. Like that, job 3 is also already engaged, we cannot access it. So after that, now employee 2, we are focusing on employee 2. So employee 2 is having three possibilities. One is job 1 and job 2, job 4. So initially we starting with job 1. So job 1 here, minimum cost. Okay, so here the job 1 is assigned to E2. So the cost is 1, right. Then we are making this employee 2 is unavailable, and the job 1 is also unavailable, which is assigned to E2. So we are making that row and column is unavailable by making pink color font. Okay, after that we have to calculate the lower bound here. So here lower bound already cost for the employee number 1 is 4. Now employee number 2 is 1. The remaining is employee number 3, third row. Here only two values are there, 2 and 8. Among the 2 and 8 is least cost value is 2, so we are selected that one. Then fourth row, the least value among the 3 and 6, 3 is the least value, we are selected that one. So total lower bound value is here 10. Then another possibility is job number 2. Okay, so job number 2 is assigning to the employee number 2. So already here the job number 1 is, job number 3 is assigned to employee number 1. So it is done in the previous level, so it is unavailable. Now the job number 2 is going to assign to the employee number 2. Once it is assigned, this is the cost he is gaining to do the job number 2. So once it is assigned, now employee number 2 is not available and job 2 is also not available. Then we are going to calculate the cost. Here the job number 3 is assigned to employee number 1 with 4 units, that's what given here. The job number 2 is assigned to employee number 2, that is 3. Then row number 3 is having two values 6 and 8. Among the 6 is the minimum cost, which is selected here, this one. And fourth row employee 4, here least cost value from the available values 6 is the value. So now adding the least cost value, so 19 is the value. Another possibility is here job number 4 for the employee number 2. When you are assigning the job number 4, so this is the cost to do the job number 4 by employee 2. Then once it is selected, we are making the job number 4 and employee 2 is engaged, so it is not available. Job number 3 is already not available, right, from the level number 1. So now we have to calculate the lower bound. So for the lower bound, the job number 3 is for the E1 4. for E2 this is 5, and for the row number 3 least cost value is 2, for the employee number 4 the least cost value is 3. So now we have explored all possible jobs for the employee number 2. So this is calculated three different costs, so 10 and 19 and 14. So among this least lower bound value is 10, so here also 10. So now we are killing this remaining paths, only we are going to use this one. So job 1 is assigned to E2, already job 3 is assigned to E1, remaining jobs are J2 and J4. So we have to explore the node number 6 to assign further remaining jobs to remaining employees. So here this is the tree we have got in the previous slide. So the least cost is this node, we are going to explore this node further by selecting remaining jobs are here, the job number 2 and job number 4, already 1 is assigned to E1 E2 and 3 is assigned to E1. So now when we are selecting this, we are going to first select first option. J2 is assigned to E3, so already E1 is assigned to J3, so it is unavailable. E2 is assigned to J1, that is also unavailable. Okay, so remaining is this 3 and 4 employees. Like that, jobs are here, 2 and 4. Okay, only these two are there. Now we are assuming job 2 is assigned to E3. So here once it is assigned, 2 is the cost, then this row is unavailable, that means employee 3 is unavailable, job 2 is also unavailable. So now we have to calculate the lower bound cost. 4 already selected, 1 is selected for the employee 2, and now the job uh, 2 is assigned to employee 3, that value is 6. Then remaining is here only one row, that in that row 6 is the remaining value, right? That is the least cost value. So 6 is assigned, we are calculating the cost is now 13. Then remaining other option is job number 4. So we are assigning job number 4 to the employee 3. Now we are calculating the cost. So already J3 is assigned to E1, so this is unavailable, this job is also unavailable. E2 is assigned to the J1, so here this is also unavailable, this row is also unavailable. So from the existing one, we are assigning job number 4 to the E3. So this is the cost. Once it is selected, this row is unavailable, this column is also unavailable, right? Now we are going to calculate the cost. 4 this one, and 1 this one, and 8 is selected cost, now 8. So remaining, if 4 is remaining, so only one value is there, that is given here. So total cost is 16. So two possibilities are calculated. Now from the two possibilities, the minimum cost is 13. So this path is killed now, no need to explore again. Even if you are exploring, you will not get the result. So job 2 is assigned to E3. As of now, here J3 is assigned to E1 in this step, and E2 is assigned to J1 in this step. Now E3 is assigned to the J2, right? So three jobs are assigned, only remaining job is job number 4, and employee is also employee number 4. So only one option is there, we need not to explore again. So directly we can assign this job to employee number 4. So we have assigned this. So this is the final answer. Finally we have assigned the jobs are like E1 is J3, E2 is J1, E3 is J2, and E4 is J4 with the minimum cost of here 13. So this is the final answer for this assignment problem. The worst case time complexity for this problem is 2 power n, and for checking each and every row and column, we are going to use the matrix 2 for loops n square. So 2 power n into n square. So finally we are getting the time complexity. Thanks for watching.